If overflow still feels like something you have to earn, you are not free. And this ends now. This is what we are going to be talking about today. Because if you are in the loop of overflow being something that you have to earn, no matter where you are going to stay trapped in that loop. Please say hello as you're joining us. I'm really excited for what we're diving into because this is going to change the game for you. It is going to change how you receive money. It's going to change how easily it flows to you. It's going to change your entire relationship with it. Hello, I think it's Cynthia. Hello. So when you're in this loop of thinking overflow is something that has to be earned or efforted, you get trapped in needing to perform, right? You need to do something to get a result. And so right now, the way you're operating is like, I do this in hopes that money will come this way, or it will get me this result. You're putting on this performance. But if that were true, right? If overflow was tied to effort, then simply anybody who put in effort would achieve overflow. But that's not true. There are plenty of people who put in plenty of effort, plenty of output, work many hours, right? Some people could even work 3 jobs and they don't necessarily have an overflow of money. Why? Because effort doesn't equate to overflow. And so this is a very empowering and simple way for you to think about it. Because it's like, well, if that was required, then it would have to be required from everybody. But it's not. So I want you to really start asking yourself, where am I still performing for overflow? Where am I still subtly doing to get a result instead of moving from the part of you that is the result naturally and moves from that place? When clients come to me, right, when women come to me, they are very much still operating from, well, I'm doing this to get a result. And then when the result isn't resulting as much or as hard or as fast or as big as they want it to, you start feeling a type of way. So what do? You start performing more to get a result. And then what ends up happening is you keep needing to perform in order to maintain or to grow. And I was actually discussing this with a one-on-one client this week who felt like she had to keep up, right? Like the shoe is going to drop. If you don't keep performing, well, then the money is going to stop, or the money is going to dry up, or that's not going to happen. But when you come back to the fact that you are a divine rich woman, then what happens is you don't have to earn overflow. Overflow becomes a byproduct of who you are. And so many women, right? You want to get paid to exist, right? We've heard about get paid to exist, get paid for who you are. But in order for that to happen, you have to stop performing. You have to stop fitting yourself in a framework, in a structure, in a performance of how you think you need to be in order to receive. And what so many people get caught up in is this performance of acting as if act as the woman who makes X amount of money, act as the woman who makes $1 million, act as if. But acting is a performance. That's why we call actors performers. They are performing. So when you get trapped in the mainstream manifestation of acting as if, that's why it limits you, you are still in a performing energy. You still have to perform as something other than you are in order to receive. That is distorted. That is a lie. So while mainstream manifestation will teach you act as if, that will keep you forever in an illusion of separation. It will always keep it as something outside of you. It will always remind your nervous system that, you're not it yet. You have to perform a certain way. You have to act and play pretend, right? We think about acting. You're playing pretend. You're pretending. You are sending the energetic signal, right, to your nervous system of this is pretend, this is make-believe, in hopes that if you pretend long enough, your subconscious might take a small amount of that on. But it's very small. And it takes a long time. But when you drop that performative paradigm, right, and you enter the one of divine magnetism, you come back to your truth. You come back to your frequency and you stop performing for it and you start realizing who you are. And this is where the magic happens, right? It's in this space. Because you're no longer giving away your power to something outside of you. You no longer feel like you have to jump through hoops. You're no longer grasping at strategies, hoping that's the thing that's going to unlock you. Because the truth is, you don't need another strategy. You don't need more information. You need a new frequency to move from. When your overflow is no longer something you have to perform for, or pretend for, or over effort for, you start becoming the woman where money naturally flows to you. Because she knows deep in her body, in her cells, in her bones, she's drenched in the certainty that she is it. Not acting, not performing, not pretending. You are it. And when you know you are it, not playing pretend, not dressing up, right? Like how you would dress up when you were little, play dress up. You're not playing. You are it. That is the frequency that moves mountains, right? When we think about the place that money wants to flow to, overflow wants to flow to, it will come rushing, gushing in to the woman who knows she is wealth, who knows she is rich, not because something outside of her validated it or gave her proof, but because she is unwavering in herself, right? Your nervous system no longer flinches when it comes to that. This is very important. This is probably one of the biggest things that keeps people trapped. That keeps them in that loop of needing to perform in order to grow. And the thing is that when you are in that loop, it's never going to end. Nose is itchy. Always a good sign when the nose is itchy. Because at every level, you will keep needing to perform. And what happens is eventually your system burns out. You realize that you've been performing and it's exhausting to have to perform for it. Versus when you're in your authentic magnetic truth, it's the easiest thing in the world. Showing up in your true magnetism is effortless. The reason it feels like you're having to push and prove and push the boulder uphill is because you're performing. So when you drop that need to perform, you enter a different era. I want you to really slow down and notice where you're still not only performing strategies to get, but this is a very important nuance that not many people realize, but where you're performing regulation, where you're performing ease, where you're performing stillness, where you're performing rest. Because when you're still performing, I'm like, okay, I know I need to slow down. I know I need to relax my nervous system. So let me go relax in hopes that the money will then flow if I relax. That's still performing. That's still doing to get a result. Not relaxing because you know just deep in your cells that's what it is and you are it. And so this is like the loop. It's not only the loop of, chasing strategies and, this next thing is going to fix it, but it's also the performing of regulation, the performing of softness, the performing of stillness that will always reinforce that illusion of separation between you and money. And I guarantee if you're watching this, you feel this truth inside your body. You feel that desire for ease, but not performing ease, embodied ease. You feel that truth inside you that like, this is not it. The performing is not it. The proving is not it. The convincing is not it. But what you first need to do is to give yourself permission to exit that loop. To exit the loop of the woman who needs to keep performing, who keeps acting as if there's nothing to act. You already are her. And when you plug back into that consistently, and you plug into the fact that you already are that divine, rich woman, everything you do starts to ooze with that magnetism. And then your magnetism isn't something you have to generate, right? You no longer ask, how do I become magnetic? You just are. This is going to be huge for you. I want you to let the magnitude of who you are start to bend money around you. Because the woman who knows this, money comes to you. Money is in awe of you. Because money sees that you see who you are. Money sees, oh, she stopped performing. She realizes that she's divine. She realizes who the hell she is. I want to go there. And it's a lot less exhausting. Right? That's actually true ease. And the truth is that when you're in that state, all the strategies that you've been using or hoping the next strategy, the next funnel thing is going to work, everything works. Everything works because you're certain. Because you're dripping and drenched in the certainty that doesn't matter what you touch, it works because of who you are. Because the truth is, it all works. But it's based on your frequency. And then you're actually doing things in the way that you want to do them. And you're leading in a way that you want to lead. Your nervous system stops bracing for overflow. I can't tell you how many women have come to me not only wanting overflow, but then receiving overflow and are terrified that it's going to go away. That's not freedom. Right? If your nervous system is either scared it's not going to come or terrified that it's going to go away, that's not freedom. That's feeling trapped. It's feeling like, oh, it could all go away in a second. If I could breathe one thing into you, it would be that certainty. So that you not only felt safe to receive it all and to hold it all, but you knew that it wasn't going to go away. And that you felt so safe in that. So solid in that. Because the divine rich woman never has to worry if more money is going to come. Because it's not outside of her. It is her. Right? When you are it, you're not waiting for something outside to come because it's not outside. It's within. You can't ever stop receiving something that comes from within. You can't ever stop receiving more of what's already you. It's already you. It's already there. No matter what goes on around you. No matter how old you are, what's going on in the world, the market, the business, the economy, it doesn't matter. It's you. You're with you all the time. You can't escape you. And there's nothing more freeing than coming home to that truth and not wavering in that. And then everything you do in your life and your business comes from fulfillment. It comes from overflow. You're not doing things out of obligation. You're not subtly doing to get. You get because you are. I want you to really let this land in your body. I want you to let this land in your system. I want you to share it with another woman who you know this would be for. Send this to her also as a reminder so she can remember who she is. So she can remember she's a divine rich woman. And you enter the magnetism and leave behind any performing. That is true nervous system freedom. It is time to set yourself free. I will see you inside the Divine Rich Woman Mastermind. I am profoundly excited. It is a full week immersion of us doing this. It's a small group. You can DM me Rich for the details for that to join us inside. I love you, and I'll speak to you soon.